Michael Johnson, so many good riders nowadays. I think we could add another professional class. Combine / SMX next is a good way to get younger guys a taste. Couldn't we add that class into the series? What's your take on RV? You had some pretty good insight on that before we were talking about it. Go for it.
Yep. That's a great question, Michael Johnson. I 100% agree with you, Michael. That especially with our rule change coming up. I believe it's 17 next year. It's going to be 18 before we know it, before you can turn pro, race professional supercross and motocross. And look, we have Loretta Lynn's as our biggest amateur national. Great platform for the younger kids from 50s all the way up to big bikes. But we have a hole. I believe we have a hole in the system. When it comes to that next level of graduation out of Loretta Lynn's, getting these kids ready for supercross and motocross. And I believe, we have the combine, we have SMX next, great programs. I would like to see those be a little more, happen more for those kids that say are 16 through 18. So you got a 2-year window there where they could be doing, combines, more combines and more SMX next to get them ready. So I believe that we are in a position that we need a little bit of a change for the kids that are on their way out of Loretta's, that have done Loretta's, say 10 years in a row. And that are on that cusp of needing something more to keep developing. And I think we see it in EMX. I've said it before. MXGP has the EMX classes. They even start the EMX classes down on 85s, where they do like a 6-race, say, series at the GPs. And then it goes up to 125s and then 250. So I believe we do need that. I would hope, my kids are 8 years old at this point. If there is a change, it is for the better. And I believe that would develop better athletes that are maybe more, not better, athletes that are ready to step foot into SMX and pro motocross when they do turn 18, bridging that gap a little bit. So great question. I love it. I think Coombs's, I think Feld, they need to put their heads together and get a little series going. We're already there.
Yes.
We're already at the races. They're already there. They have the stadiums, they have the motocross tracks, and maybe it just starts with motocross at this point. I know the stadium's a whole different animal. They're only there for about 18 hours and boom, wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. They're in and out. We race, they tear the dirt out. So that might be a little more of a logistic nightmare for Supercross itself. But I think pro motocross, 100%, we need to see like a six race series for the transition guys that are coming out of Loretta's.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages who tune into Title 24, whether you watch this broadcast or podcast on Peacock or Motorsports on NBC's YouTube page, or you listen to this podcast, no one will ever give you a better explanation than what Ryan Villopoto just did there. And I second every single move and every single word that you just said, RV. You just absolutely nailed it. Well said. I think that the last thing that I would just comment on is like, to what RV was saying, it just grooms those guys and gives them that much more experience being in a real situation. And being exposed to that real situation of whether it's a pro motocross track or whether it's a supercross track. And I think that you're exactly right. MX Sports, Feld put their heads together and find a way to get these guys out there and get that exposure. Dude, you crush it. Great explanation. And Michael, hell of a question.
Hi folks, Lee Diffie from NBC Sports. If you enjoyed what you just watched, well, it's time to bring the action and subscribe to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube channel. You can have it all: news, highlights, interviews, and analysis. So go for it.